Coming up on the April 16th edition of Carolina Week.
Now that the coaching question is answered, we'll tell you what other changes could be in store for the men's basketball team.
This campus landmark holds more than flowers and walking trails. 100 years of legends and secrets have been made here.
And you hear the bells chime every 15 minutes, but few ever get to see the bells up close. We'll bring you a peek inside the bell tower.
All that and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, I'm Jenny McClendon.
And I'm Alex Lawson. Carolina fans have had reason to celebrate this week as one of their own, Roy Williams, has returned to Chapel Hill to lead the program he left 15 years ago to be the head coach at the University of Kansas.
To welcome our new coach to Chapel Hill, many stores along Franklin Street are offering specials in his honor. Others immediately started selling merchandise. But today, stores must take the shirts and buttons off the shelf. The Collegiate Licensing Company sent a memo out Wednesday telling companies not to sell anything referring to Roy Williams or his new coaching position until licensing issues are resolved. Some stores have already complied.
Well, the merchandise is just one of the ways in which people have shown enthusiasm for the new coach. On Tuesday, Williams was at the Old Well greeting Carolina fans of all ages. Williams had to go back to Kansas Wednesday to tie up loose ends, so Tuesday was an opportunity for fans to see the new head man before he left. Also in attendance were Chancellor James Measer and Director of Athletics Dick Bedour to show support for the new coach. Williams excited the fans in the press conference Monday night with statements made to the players about the kind of coach Carolina now has and the expectations for his team.
Never work harder than I work, and you will never care more than I care. But I will ask you to come awfully close. The best way to have fun is to win. And so you got to work your tails off to that part, but we're going to win.
Carolina students are excited that Roy Williams has come home.
But Carolina Week also wanted to find out what students from arch rival Duke think about Roy coming back to his alma mater.
The signs along Franklin Street tell it all. Students in Chapel Hill are happy to have Roy back.
Welcome home, Roy.
Some have been waiting for a while.
I'm excited, man. I've been waiting 3 years for this, and I hated to see Matt go, but this makes it all worthwhile having Roy come back home.
Others, they just can't wait until October when Midnight Madness begins.
Everybody be there. Will be packed out place, and it's just going to be so hype. I can't imagine the ovation we're going to give Roy Williams when he does finally step in there as our head coach and we get to see him in action. I'm excited. I can't wait.
A few miles up 15501, even Duke students are getting excited about Carolina basketball because of the tradition.
It can only do good things because the Cameron Crazies have been notoriously bad lately, so hopefully it'll boost school spirit a little bit more, get everyone kind of riled up. We'll see some more witty comments out of the Duke fans, I hope.
Regardless of what the outcome might be for next season.
NCAA championship, definitely. I definitely foresee that. I think we're probably going to definitely make it to the tournament. We'll probably won't be in the NIT next year, thank God. So I think we'll definitely be in NCAA, probably maybe ACC champs. I mean, as long as we beat State, that's all I'm concerned about. I'm not a big State fan.
Carolina Week Sports will have a lot more later in the broadcast.
Well, you could end up paying more tuition next fall. The North Carolina House Finance Committee approved a bill Tuesday calling for a 5% tuition increase at all 16 UNC system schools. A 5% increase at Carolina would mean in-state students would pay about $70 more per semester, while out-of-state students would pay about $350 more. The UNC System Board of Governors recently called for a one-year moratorium on any tuition increases. The Finance Committee members say another hike is necessary in these tough economic times.
Franklin Street bar owners might have to lower their occupancy numbers if they want to avoid a major expense. The Chapel Hill Town Council is considering revising newly proposed fire sprinkler laws. The revision would require new and existing bars with occupancy limits of more than 200 people to install sprinkler systems. Only 4 bars would be affected by the proposal. 23 Steps, Bubba Malley's, Hell Bar, and Treehouse. Those bars can voluntarily lower their occupancy limits to avoid having to install the sprinklers. The new criteria for the sprinkler laws came after restaurant owners expressed concern about being included in the requirements. The original proposal called for installing sprinkler systems in businesses with occupancy limits of more than 50 people.
UNC alumna Jennifer Robinson won't be celebrating the next 3 Mother's Days, Father's Days, or Christmases at home. Instead, she'll be in jail on those days as a reminder of the death she caused while driving drunk. Robinson pled guilty Monday to involuntary manslaughter and driving while impaired. The accident killed NC State senior Scott Brown on September 27th. Robinson's blood alcohol level was .235, almost 3 times the legal limit. Instead of facing 14 to 17 months in prison, Robinson must complete 3 years of supervised probation, 72 hours of community service, and spend the holidays we mentioned in jail for the next 3 years. Wake Superior Court Judge Evelyn Hill also ordered Robinson to spend the first anniversary of the September wreck in jail.
Coker Arboretum is a landmark on campus, and behind the different types of wildflowers and trees, there are many stories. Carolina Week's Amanda Eiler has more.
I used to park my Volkswagen bus behind Alderman Dorm so that after class I would have a reason to walk down through the Arboretum with Julia.
For Associate Provost Steve Allred and his wife Julia, Coker Arboretum is more than a place to study or reflect. It's the place they became engaged. They met at Carolina in 1974 and started dating later that year.
I brought out the ring and said I'd like to be married, and to her.
The Arboretum has been the site of many proposals and wedding ceremonies. For the Allreds, it holds many fond memories.
It was a surprise to me. We knew we were going to go out later that night, and I thought that would be the time where we would really talk seriously about it. But it turned out to be a nice time because it was in that beautiful garden, and the sun was shining, and it was a very nice afternoon.
Among the flowers and trees are several benches, many of them with plaques to remember students and faculty who have died. Another memorial is being planned, this one to remember a tragedy that took place in this garden. In the summer of 1965, Sue Ellen Evans, a summer school student from UNC Greensboro, was murdered in the Arboretum in broad daylight. The case was never solved. Director of the North Carolina Botanical Gardens, Peter White, says the Arboretum is a perfect place for her memorial.
As one of our speakers said during the centennial celebration on Friday, this is hallowed ground for a variety of reasons, and that's one of them.
In its 100 years, Coker Arboretum has become a place to learn, love, and remember. In Chapel Hill, I'm Amanda Eiler, Carolina Week.
The Arboretum was built in 1903 under the direction of Dr. William Chambers Coker, Carolina's first professor of botany.
Seniors got a bird's eye view of campus Wednesday.
It's going to rain 8 notes.
In keeping with tradition, May graduates were allowed to climb the steps of the bell tower. The line was long, but the view is well worth it. Seniors signed the inside walls of the tower while checking out campus from above. For many, it's a view they're not likely to ever see again. Seniors have a few weeks left to enjoy the campus. Graduation is May 18th.
On the national scene, American citizens can feel at ease as of Wednesday. 29 days after raising the national threat level to orange or high, the Department of Homeland Security reduced the level to yellow or elevated. U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Tom Ridge says the decision to lower the risk level followed a review of intelligence and an assessment of threats to the country.
You often hear about blood drives.
But there's a process that's just as important and usually overlooked. Giving platelets can mean giving life. Find out how you can help when Carolina Week returns.
I think you should wear a tie.
Dad, nobody wears ties to school.
Tie says you're serious. It'll make a good impression. And remember, you're there to study,
to learn, and to make something of myself. I got it.
Almost half of all UNCF students are the first in their family to go to college.
They have some great architecture classes.
Dad, I'm not really interested in architecture.
Well, keep your options open. And remember, no girls until your
my work is done.
And I'd make sure that I got my lunch.
Dad. going. I am.
I know.
Well, listen, we better get going. Don't want to be late the first day, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when you're the first to go, you're going for a lot of people. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Got guts? That's what the group Life Takes Guts was asking Wednesday in the pit. The group, along with Carolina Donor Services, was trying to raise awareness about the benefits of organ donation. Free food and Frisbees were on hand to encourage students to fill out organ donor cards. Event organizers say some people think checking organ donor on their driver's license is enough, but only an organ donor card can make it official in North Carolina. This is the third year Life Takes Gut has staged its donation campaign. Organizers expect to get 500 new donors from Wednesday's event.
UNC Hospital says there's a constant need for platelets, components of blood that aid in clotting. Carolina Week's Marina Bolomo has more.
Carolina librarian Fran Allegri helps up to 24 people every year by donating platelets once a month.
I like the thought that it's helping people that are really ill. Less fortunate than I am, I happen to be in pretty good health, so this is one way that I can use that gift, I guess, to help other people.
For some people, platelets seen here under the microscope can be life-saving. Associate Director of UNC Blood Bank, Dr. Nick Benderenko, explains.
If you have no platelets, then you're not able to clot your blood normally, and that leads to a risk of bleeding. And you can have a lack of platelets because of a problem producing them, such as bone marrow cancer, or if you bleed heavily because of a trauma, you can lose a lot of platelets.
The platelet donation takes about 2.5 hours. Doctors say the procedure is very safe and closely monitored by medical professionals like technician Christopher Day.
The way this machine works is through two different cycles. There's the draw cycle, to where we pull the blood out of the body and we send it down to a centrifuge inside the machine, and it's going to separate the whole blood into components. We're going to collect those components in the collection bags, and the red cells are going to be returned to the donor.
Here at UNC Hospitals, 50 people donate platelets every week, but it's still not enough for the 75 patients who receive platelets here weekly. Once out of the body, platelets have a shelf life of only 5 days. That's why donors are always required.
To donate platelets, you must be between 17 and 76 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, not be pregnant or breastfeeding, not have the flu, cold, or other infections, and have had no tattoo within at least 12 months. Once you donate the platelets, your body replaces them within 3 days. You can donate as often as every 2 weeks. In Chapel Hill, I'm Marina Belomo, Carolina Week.
For more information about platelet donation, go to our website at carolinaweek.org.
Jason Myers is here now to tell us how long these Carolina blue skies are going to stick around.
I know, it's felt like summertime out there. We've had temperatures in the 80s.
So nice.
A lot of sunny conditions. But before we get to this weekend's forecast, let me go to this week's weather question. And that is about how many tornadoes are formed in the United States during an average year. Is it 100, 250, 800, or 1,500? I'll have the answer and the weekend forecast just after the break.
Good job.
Look, it's a giraffe.
I don't see it.
The less art kids get, the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Excuse me, do you guys get tested for HIV?
Tested for HIV?
No way, man. That's just not where we're at right now.
It's just about us and our music.
What you doing to me? What you doing to me?
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Sunny skies and 80-degree temperatures have been with us this week, and it's been perfect to take your lunch outside and visit with a friend. And with sunny weather like this, it's perfect just to get a good book and be outside too and enjoy the sunshine. But also with this time of the year, it brings thunderstorms, and that can change the weather pretty quick. Now, to make a thunderstorm be considered severe, it has to meet one of these criteria. It has to have winds greater than 58 miles per hour, or it has to have hail with diameter greater than 3/4 inches, or if a tornado touches down, it's going to be severe. Now, if we look at the weather and see how things have been, it's been very sunny, not many clouds in the south right now, but it's a different story right here in the Central Plains. There's a low pressure system that's churning up a lot of thunderstorms. And that low pressure system is going to be moving to our area late on Thursday. Yet it will lose some strength as it comes across the mountains, and it should not have enough strength to really do much more than a drizzle. Now, if we look at the surface map, we can see we've had the high pressure system here, and that's been bringing in a lot of warm, moist air to our area. But this low pressure system is what's going to be replacing the high, and that's what could bring us some cloudy skies. And also it's going to bring a cold front with it, which is going to bring the temperatures down too as that passes through late on Thursday. So we'll start to see the temperatures go down by this weekend. If we look at the 4-day forecast, we can see just that. Temperatures will be staying in the 60s, 65 on Friday with a chance of rain and a low of 50 degrees. And then on Saturday, 67 and low of 50. It's going to be staying in the 50s, so make sure when you start off your morning, make sure you have a jacket with you. But the highs will be staying mostly in the upper 60s, maybe lower 70s. Looks like it's going to warm up a little bit more when we get closer to Monday, but we're going to still have those clouds with us throughout the weekend. Now, if we look at the beach, it's going to be a little bit warmer there, 72 on Saturday and partly cloudy with a low of 54. And then on Sunday, 76 degrees will be our high and a low of 57 with partly cloudy skies. Now, there is a slight chance of an afternoon thunderstorm that might pop up in a few areas. If we look at our mountain forecast, we can see the temperatures will be a little cooler there, a little bit like here in the 60s, 65 on Saturday with partly cloudy skies and a low of 45. And then on Sunday, cloudy, a high of 68 and a low of 48. Now, if you're having a problem with allergies, the main problems are trees. They're high right now, but molds are low, and we don't have too much problems with weeds and grasses. But we'll start to see those maybe more toward the summer. But does anyone have an answer to our weather question? Now it's getting close to severe thunderstorm season, and we start maybe seeing more severe thunderstorms happening. Does anyone have an idea about tornadoes?
Well, 1,500 definitely seems a little high.
Sounds like a lot.
A little too high, so
B, 250.
B sounds good.
That's a good guess. It's actually C, 800. So
Wow.
there's quite a few tornadoes that happen in an average year.
All right, and we're not too far off from hurricane season either, right?
That's right. That will be starting up mainly for the southern coastal areas. That's going to be later in the summer because the water has to heat up quite a bit more. So first the land will start heating up and then the water. So that's usually later in the season. Tornado season is going to be starting up though in May, and that's going to be what we're going to be checking out first.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks.
Aaron Mesmer joins us now with sports. A lot of people are wondering who the assistant coaches are going to be with Roy Williams.
Well, at Monday's press conference, Roy Williams had said that he plans on bringing his entire assistant coaching staff with him from Kansas. But if any of them take a head coaching job, possibly at Kansas, you may see Phil Ford on the bench with Roy Williams next year. But we'll bring you that story. And also, coming up in sports, the one that got away 3 years ago didn't get away this time. We'll tell you how this affects Carolina basketball and its fans when we return.
When you shop in Orange County, your money comes back to you.
Thank you for shopping Orange.
So shop Orange and see what a difference you can make.
Okay, guys, time for takeoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. Roy Williams is back in Chapel Hill to be the 18th men's head basketball coach at North Carolina. At the press conference Monday night, Chancellor Measer shared a comment made to him by Kansas Chancellor Robert Hemingway that showed the appreciation both schools have for Williams, and Williams showed his love for both schools as well.
He said, "We are sending you a treasure. You are a treasure, and we celebrate the values that you articulated tonight."
I had 2 dream schools, and I wanted to coach both, but can't do it at the same time. Now, though, I'm coaching North Carolina, and few people can ever say that they've coached at their 2 favorite schools.
Of course, to coach at one favorite school, Williams had to leave his other favorite. Deciding to leave Kansas after 15 years was a very tough decision, despite Williams' excitement about his new job.
Other than the serious injury or death to my family, I've never had anything more difficult than what I went through this afternoon, talking to my team and telling those 13 young men that I was leaving them.
It's also hard for Williams to leave the 4 high schoolers who signed to play for him at KU next season. Concern for his recruits and current Kansas players almost caused Williams to call Dick Bedore and take himself out of the running for the Carolina job. But Williams says returning to Carolina is the right thing to do.
But every decision I've ever made, it became one that I was glad I did. And that's what this one will become too.
With the coaching change, Carolina's basketball players will spend the next few months adjusting to Williams' style. Monday night, they seem more than ready for that challenge. Dressed in their Sunday's best, the team gave Williams a standing ovation upon his arrival. They listened attentively as Williams outlined his expectations, and afterward seemed ready for a new beginning.
Listening to it, I was ready to play, while he's talking. I mean, it's going to be exciting to be able to try to do the things that we're capable of doing.
It's like a new beginning, absolutely. Everyone have a clean slate, and we have to come in and prove ourselves, like Coach Williams said, and it's going to be very exciting.
I mean, let us know that he believes in us already. He hadn't really get a chance to work with us. He believed in us from day one. He's going to work hard, like he said, for us, towards us, and to get us better. So, it's going to be great.
The next step in Williams' transition will be to establish his Carolina coaching staff.
I have 5 guys that have worked with me for several years, and including 2 former players. If they do not get the job, they will be here with me. That doesn't work.
2 of his Kansas assistants, Joe Holliday on the left and Steve Robinson on the right, were in Chapel Hill Monday. Williams believes Holliday could be a candidate for the Kansas head coach opening. If Holliday is not offered the job, Williams' coaching staff will remain intact, but he says former UNC assistant coach Phil Ford will still have a role in the program.
Phil Ford, again, I'm going to ask him to help me bridge this time until all of those guys get here. And Phil Ford, as I said, the epitome of a North Carolina basketball player, will be important to me, just as James Worthy was Saturday in Los Angeles.
Williams' remark about James Worthy is in reference to a discussion they had while Williams was in Los Angeles for the Wooden Award ceremony. He received the Wooden Legends of Coaching Award, first won by Dean Smith in 1999. One person who had come under fire, not only since Matt Doherty's resignation, but even during the past few years, is UNC Athletics Director Dick Bedore. Bedore had been criticized for the way he dealt with the football and basketball coaching changes. Some criticism was pretty harsh. Now, his most recent coaching choice seems to be a crowd pleaser among fans, players, and former coaches. Even Roy Williams was impressed with the way Bedore handled the situation.
He was very concerned about putting enough space between the national championship game and my feelings. And I do think that he showed a lot of savvy then, because in case you missed, I did have one little interview after the game. It showed I'm a little emotional.
Even though the coaching situation is settled, the basketball team still had some unfinished business Tuesday night. At the team's annual Banquets Award, point guard Raymond Felton was the first freshman to be honored as Team Most Valuable Player. Felton broke the freshman assist record with 236, led the team in steals, and added nearly 13 points a game. Freshman Rashad McCants earned the Jimmy Dempsey Award for the team's overall statistical leader. Now, one of Roy Williams' former Carolina players from the '82 championship team will be playing his last NBA game tonight. You might have heard of him, a guy by the name of Michael Jordan. Plans on retiring after the season is over.
All right.
Thanks, Lanier.
Well, here comes Peter Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail.
Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way. Coming up, we'll introduce you to some local bunnies who are ready for Sunday.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about freaked out money. Nothing very nice. Homeless minds. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Mother taught me. She's
averaging 18%. Balance the budget. Increasing clouds for...
UNC TV. Your remote stops here.
Easter is only days away, and some people will wake to find stuffed bunnies in their baskets.
Reporter Amanda Matthews takes us to visit real Peter Cottontails.
Have you ever wished for a real bunny in your Easter basket? Bunnies at Bent Willow Rabbitry in Cary are bred and trained, but not for Easter. Owner Beth Hayes trains bunnies to sell as pets or even show rabbits. She says that different bunny breeds can be quite expensive.
They sell from $25 up to $400 and $500.
So, if you buy a bunny, should you feed her carrots?
A bunny should be fed pellets, rabbit pellets like a Purina chow.
Hayes says they also need lots of loving.
Some people think that bunnies are just a throwaway pet, when really they live for several years.
People don't remember or know in the first place that rabbits live 7 to 8 years.
If you're only looking for an Easter decoration, don't look here. These 30 residents need lots of attention. In Cary, I'm Amanda Matthews, Carolina Week.
Well, Alex, are you hoping for a bunny in your basket?
I hope. I've been pretty good, but we'll see. I don't know. You think you're going to get a bunny in yours?
I don't know. I'm just going to go for some candy, I think.
I'll take that,
Might get
too.
my hopes up.
Well, we also want to mention that Passover begins Wednesday night, so another holiday for the Jewish community as well.
That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for joining us, and have a great holiday and be safe as well.
Good night.